Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile. So this is the Legacy of Phrecia event. It's coming up for PoE 1 next Thursday, February the 20th, and then it's 3 p.m. EST. If you don't know about this, 19 alternate ascendancies. And then the main things to know are you can get this for getting level 80 in the event. It's not voided, and there's also Twitch drops enabled for PoE 1 for the Haven Wood Cloak. And then this is the main thing. Well, there's like two main things, but this is like the main thing. The Ascendancies. And so you'll be wondering, which one are you going to be playing? And I've been getting a lot of Puppeteer. Because minions are aggressive, and then zombies, minion stuff. But what will we play? So, in this time, what could I pick? What is it that I value? So in this time for this event, we have decided Herald. The Herald sees calamity in the future, hopefully only for your enemies. She forsakes auras to go all in on Herald skills, empowering them beyond simply minor buffs. So, new Ascendancy, we won't really look at other ones right now. This is what we'll focus on. So, we're a witch. We start as a witch. Herald. And our first Ascendancy, Coming Calamity. So you spend 2 points, and then your auras are disabled. So my league starter changes. Increase mana reservation efficiency of Herald skills. Okay. So that's your first lab, and then the second one, you get this thingy, and this doesn't take a point. It makes it so you get to choose one of these 5, like a Scion, and so you could get 15 physical damage reduction with Herald of Purity with a buff effect, or 5 max cold res, 5 max fire, 5 max lightning, and 75 chaos res with Herald of Agony with buff effect. And then for 2 points, you're able to get Damnation, which is additional LE damage reduction equal to half your chaos res, but you can't get charges yourself. And you can also get a 2-pointer for Scourge, where it's 66 minion damage. Alright, so the point with all this is that technically you could go Herald of Agony one with the Damnation, and then you'll get 37.5% LE damage reduction. And then the Giga Chaos Res as well. Especially with the buff effect, or you could just do the physical damage reduction. Both of these are good. We're going to be doing the physical damage reduction, and we're going to build the Chaos Res ourselves. But we'll grab Future Guilt, do the Herald of Purity, get the buff effect, use this, get the extra physical damage reduction. So just to repeat, I would do Coming Calamity, Future Guilt, probably Scourge actually before Damnation, because I might not have the Chaos Res early, because we might need to get the extra hybrid Chaos Res mods from June or trading for the Chaos Res on our gear, where the minion damage will be consistent, 66, so we'll probably do that third lab, and then this is going to be our Uber lab, and we'll have Chaos Res by then. Yeah. Before we get into the POB, I need to mention this. So this was our league starter for 3.25 settlers, 38k views, 658 likes. This is what I'm going to be using up to basically level 33, besides just a few changes in the POB that I'm going to go into right after this. I just want to show you this. I'm going to link this in the description below. This is our league starter that I'm basically using, and I have all the gameplay footage of, and then I just have some very minor changes, but then it's mostly the stuff after level 33 that I'm focusing on with the new event, because of the event being the subclasses, the ascendancies, and they only begin at 33. So then we basically are using the same league starter from 3.25, but with some changes that I'll go into in the POB right now. But yeah, I definitely recommend rewatching this just to recap for the 1 to 33, because it's actually a really good reminder to get into it. Now let's get into the POB. All right, the POB. So to start off, yeah, this was the POB for the 3.25 League Starter, and then I adjusted it because the ascendancies, we won't be going Chaos because we're not a Necromancer. So I won't be showing the tree yet, and then really just I took out the ascendancy completely of every single tree, but then it is actually changed also to make sure you focus on actually having the node for ignoring enemy physical damage reduction because you're not converting to physical. Okay, so then just wanted to mention that first. I'm actually going to focus on the skills first because I made more of a change here than I did to the tree, and I told you the tree changes is basically just that mastery and like a few stuff later that is better to start with the skills. So early, we're still just zombie. You mule your ruthless and your chance to poison if you watch the video. I definitely recommend you watch that League Starter video because it shows you how to mule. I am going to be doing that. I'm muling the ruthless and the poison, 2 of them, and then we're getting Phantasm from that quest. You got to watch that vid. This is why I said I'm not going to do it again, but that vid is so good. I rewatched. I'm like, oh my god, it tells you how to do everything. You just copy the vid. It's so useful. And then so yeah, 3 link. I had a lightning with the Phantasm, and there's your thing. And then this is one of the changes. I added shield charge, which I actually ended up using last season in the 3.25, which wasn't in the guide, but it should be. It was like I was using a shield. I actually kind of planned to use it, but then I somehow it wasn't in there, so here you go, boom. And I also ended up using Holy Relic because shield charge is an attack that you're hitting the enemies while you're shield charging. So while you're traveling and just going around the map, you're also hitting, and then the hits attacks make the Holy Relic do the Holy Nova thingy, which then gives regen and mana to your allies and you. And then you could also buff it with some of the mute stuff, so your poison could be on it or minion damage. You don't have to buff it up with anything, but like technically if you're using the shield charge, you could get some extra damage if you have the links or the extra space. You could support this one as well. It's the point of showing that. It's also that the Holy Relic is just alive. It's a minion, and it's you hitting with the shield charge that makes this do damage, and it doesn't actually cost like extra mana for you. So yeah, this says just like the old one, still use the disabled auras, which means these are just disabled in POB, so you could see the mana reservation, but it's messed up anyways because of my end game, what I set up now without auras. And you go, how are you reserving mana without auras? You'll see. So yeah, vitality early, the precision, and then Flame Dash at 10 with your Summon Skelly. And if you can get the Val Skelly through trade or through a Val Orb, recommend it as early as possible, because if you swap it later and then it's an under-leveled one, it's going to feel terrible. But yeah, when you can with Flame Dash and Skelly, I showed in the previous vid that you can combo it to like skip the animation of summoning the Skelly. Highly recommend you Skelly summon and then Flame Dash. And you can still have your SRS. And then Fire Trap tech that I used in the League Starter. It's going to change around 33 because of the Ascendancy, but I had that early stuff with the Shield Charge and the Holy Relic. And like I had the links, and then for people who didn't know, I'm still going over the stuff. So then Flesh Offering, Desecrate. I have the levels of all the stuff. I didn't put the acts of where you get them, but there's only like a couple in the beginning, So then at 18, melee is with Ruthless. You can stop using precision after you grab this accuracy mastery, so early on when you grab this mastery, you don't need the precision anymore, which is really nice for your mana, because then you get to use Purity of Elements, and you're immune to elemental ailments, and you get LE res, and you give some LE res to your minions. And then you decide at 33 lab, you're like, yeah, so I know how the Purity of Elements was really great. We're like an elementalist and all, but let's just drop all of our auras. And now we get Arctic Armor, Tempest Shield, and Herald of Purity. Because Arctic Armor is a spell, it's not an aura, and it reserves mana. So it works, and then so yeah, you're less physical damage taken from hits while stationary, and less fire damage taken from hits while stationary, and you're immune to freeze. That's the best part, because we're giving up Purity of Elements, which is full elemental ailment immunity, but really the main ones are freeze, chill, shock, and ignite, right? And so this is freeze. We still get chilled. And then Tempest Shield, if you use a shield, which we want to use the shield because of shield charge, and we can get some armor from it, then you also get some spell block, and you get the immune to shock without elemental ailments and without auras. And then you get to run that Herald of Purity, and you could link this with stuff. It mostly, I don't know because I don't have the ascendancy, but that 200% efficiency does sound like a lot. It should be a lot. Maybe we're able to link this, but it's also about having the space in your build with the gems things. But if you could link it and you're able to summon the purities, it's going to be some extra damage, especially after with level 38. If you can multi-strike the Herald of Purity because it's a slamming zombie, it has a cooldown. So getting it to repeat the slam is really good. Stone Golem. 34. So yeah, it's really cool that you can get freeze, shock. You don't have the chill and ignite, but that's crazy compared to purity of elements. And then obviously not the LE res, but if we just build the LE res, which we can actually build, but we can't really build less fizz from hits and less fire from hits really easily, or like the block, yeah, spell block's pretty good. And then at 34, you can also run Temporal Rift. Temporal Rift is another spell, non-aura, that reserves your mana, and then this becomes a button that you can teleport back. So one thing I thought about is if you are backtracking, once you finish backtracking, you can press the button and it teleports you to where you want to go because you backtracked a little bit, right? So this was like that stuff from PoE 2, and we have it in PoE 1, and you actually have the reservation because you can't reserve auras. You can't use auras. Auras are disabled. So then you kind of could use Temporal Rift, but then I'm thinking that you won't end up really using this, and instead you're just going to link the purity, and you'll need the extra reservation, the extra mana. You won't want this, but you can use this, okay? That's why I put it in here. You'll probably take this out and take back the space, it's fine, but try it. And then Val Skelly, 4-link, Phantasm, Poison, multi-strike when you get 38. You can multi-strike the zombie with melee, fizz, and ruthless, and this is without having slamming zombie. I had this in my other league starter because it was kind of new and I wanted to keep the slamming, but now yeah, it's okay to just use the normal one. You don't need this slamming, so then having a higher level normal zombie is really good because then getting the 21 is going to be easier of the non-slamming. And then 45 showing the full setup. Okay, so this is the 6th link. You got a zombie. It's not slamming. That's just he melee attacks, and you have to have accuracy. So our tree, I'll show you all that after. You have to build accuracy because he's not slamming. He can miss. And then ruthless, multi-strike, brutality, feeding frenzy, minion damage. So basically, instead of getting your aggressive through the lab, we just run feeding frenzy in our league starter. That's what we did in the other league starter, and I've been doing this, and like it feels pretty good, especially when you look at PoE 2 and what the links do and all that, and where they come with upsides and downsides. These ones, like the brutality, this has a downside that you could kind of avoid, but like a lot of them have actual downsides. It's not just pure damage, like 25 less life. So then we counter with having the more life on the zombie, not doing the slamming, but having like the melee fizz, less attack speed, technically could not be what you want, even though you could do more damage. But then having aggressive is yeah, it's basically one link if you were playing the other ascendancy, but then you don't get to start as a witch. You have to start as a Templar, and honestly, I like the witch tree, which I'll show you in a second. It's what we've been running, and I really like it. So yeah, you could just get aggressive through a support gem, and then you're gonna run one of these anyways because you want the feeding frenzy buff, because the feeding frenzy buff buffs all your minions. It's 10% more minion damage, increased minion move speed and attack speed and cast speed, and that's for all your minions, not just the ones in the link. So then yeah, we have it on this, and then Skelly, the Val Skelly with Phantasm, Brutality, Multi-Strike. The only weird thing is running Brutality with Val Skelly because you get the mages, and then they don't do LE damage because of the Brutality, so they don't do damage. But if you notice, there's only 3 mages. So it's mostly warriors and archers. So this is really good. Besides the multi's funny with the phantasms too, because the phantasm can actually default attack, not just shoot the projectile, and then it would repeat it. Yeah. So then yeah, desecrate. Oh, and I show where they go to. Body. This is the glove. Desecrate, flame dash, flesh offering weapon, and then my shield. So I run shield charge with faster attacks. And you could put in faster attacks as soon as you get it if you want, to make the shield charge faster. And it can also support the stone golem. You could also support it to the Herald of Purity, but then it would have some more reservation. This is what I was saying. Like, you also have to worry about the space. So then you might want to cut potentially like the shield charge or the skellies or the holy relic to make space for this Herald of Purity, because this might be really sick with the Herald Ascendancy, and then maybe the extra base crit and maybe the extra levels. We might end up doing more with the Herald of Purity, but you kind of want the shield charge for that, and you kind of want the Holy Relic with the shield charge. So I don't know, it's pretty cool. And then just having it as the extra physical damage reduction thing while also summoning some extra minions isn't bad either, while also giving us 66 minion damage from the Ascendancy. We don't even have to link it. It's already doing things, right? So that's the really, really nice thing about it. And then technically, if I poisoned, then I could use Herald of Agony as well. And then, yeah, we have all these. And then Spectre, Feeding Frenzy, Culling Strike, Mim. And then I pointed out with Golem Commander, you can then run a Chaos Golem, so you could have 2 Golems. So then you have the physical damage reduction from the Herald Ascendancy, from the Herald of Purity, and then also from a Chaos Golem and the buffs, and then the regen from your Stone Golem, and the regen from the Holy Relic. Oh, it starts to give you so much. And then the secret tech, you could COD portal, but we don't really have space for gems. So you're probably going to want to cut something, like maybe even the Desecrate Flesh Offering. Maybe don't even run this. Eventually, you probably cut some of this to make room for other things after, which I have most of it here to show you. Bringing up the Animate Guardian, and then I have all the stuff of showing you like actual gear of better stuff. Oh, I have to change that because we're not the Chaos one. I made one mistake. But yeah, I left it on this one because of the shield. And the Ellie res and the jewels are really neat from the tree. Of minion Ellie res, minion accuracy, the taunt blind. Because, like, if you don't take the minion accuracy rating from the tree, then you want to take it through jewels and showing what's possible after. But yeah, let's go through the tree. So the 1 to 9 normal, and then we get the leech, and then we got the accuracy, and you could already drop precision. Then we go get our Giga regen, and then this is where we had this last time with the ignoring physical damage reduction, but we ended up removing it at the lab because we went to Chaos with the Necromancer after, with the Unholy Might with the 2, but we don't remove it this time, so we keep that, and yeah, we end up getting extra Spectre, extra Zombie, extra Skelly. It's huge start. And then all of this, like, we're so powerful now. You get the extra max life if your chest has no life mod, so try to not get a life mod on your chest with or regen. It wasn't moving. I get the accuracy. So we already had grabbed this extra accuracy at 2. Grab all this. And then like second lab, yeah. So the first lab would have been disabling your auras, and then the second one was grabbing the physical damage reduction, which is so sick. You run that Herald of Purity, and now you're actually really tanky to fizz. That's really cool. We normally wouldn't have that. Like, even going this one, you'd get 10%, and that node is giving 15 with the buff effect. Or like with this, it's Ellie res, right? So as a witch, this is pretty cool. And then yeah, you can get your extra golem. with the Chaos Golem, the extra physical damage reduction, so you're going to be pretty tanky in the beginning. And like we get the extra attributes to make gearing easier. And then third lab getting the extra minion damage. So like in our normal, we would have had potentially 30 minion damage, the extra attack and cast speed depending on how many auras you had, and the aura effect, the 10 more damage. And so like we're actually getting a considerable amount of damage out of the new Ascendancy with the 66 minion damage. It's pretty good. When you're getting 16 in a point, it's like 4. It's not bad. Where it also does other, you get the 2 extra purities too, Sentinels of Purity, and technically the extra max virulence, where I said if you do both the agony and the purity with poison, then that might be interesting, but yeah, we'll see. Then this time, because we don't have to take all the aura reservation and the aura effect and etc., then we save a ton of points, and so I ended up putting it in Ravenous Horde, and a bunch of the other like good minion nodes and a bunch of just the like good minion damage, and the tree looks really nice other than this, where you could spend 1 point and it connects it in like a square, and so unconnecting a single point anywhere in between these, which yeah, it's really awkward anyway. So that wasn't the real tree, that's just what we would do without jewels. And then so that's just the start, like this where what you're gonna build into, and it's gonna feel really good, especially Ravenous Horde early this time. This is gonna be really sick. Those extra save points from not having the aura nodes, and then the next. So again, you save so many points on the tree. So you get the Ravenous Horde. You have your jewel sockets. You could take this for reduced damage from crits with the regen and the armor. We don't have determination, so like armor from the gear is less good, and the armor on the tree is less good because you don't have the more armor and the flat armor. And then like, will we even have a granite up all the time? The granite flask, yeah. But then I have the Giga Tree. Boom. So it changes completely, where we cut some of the accuracy. We change the things. You have to get the attributes. You can fit actual cluster jewel. This is only 87. So this was higher. 94. You actually have extra points on this, so you could do more. And then yeah, cluster jewel. And it's the getting Feast and Fiend's Renewal with the extra mod you don't take, Call to Slaughter, and then it's the 2 mediums with Dreadmarch Renewal. And then we still take the regen on the tree, so your minions are going to be pretty tanky, and then you get the minion res through the bone rings and the jewels. You can get some of these jewels with minion res. You can get some of your attributes through the jewels, worst case scenario. But yeah, bone rings. Implicit end mod from Crafting Bench, or yeah, the jewels can get minion res or minion accuracy. Get Ghastly with the Taunt and Blind. It's really nice though, other than like that, yeah, we can't pick our Ascendancy, so then we don't get to show that, but I mentioned it before, and then we go into all of it. I like, yeah, this looks solid. Then you have the ignoring Fizz damage reduction. 8 max LE res. The leech. One thing I was thinking about is that because you have the extra purity, and then we have the phantasms that usually die, you could technically run the extra minion defense mastery for the recover of 5% of life on minion death, but I didn't put it. But technically, the Herald, like these things might die if we're not supporting them, so then they could be healing everything. But I'm just assuming things won't be dying. Yeah, we'll see how this League Starter goes. I'm really happy with everything, how this looks, and how it worked out. Especially the fact that you could still have things reserving your mana without even using auras. And then how strong this might end up being with the damnation, the tankiness, the physical damage reduction, and then even the minion damage is not even that bad. But then, yeah, what we'll be able to do with the gear after of what we save, other than the minion LE res, we'll have to make up for Purity of Elements, make up for the Commander of Darkness LE res, that kind of sucks, and we don't have leech. But yeah, this league starter is crazy. I figured I need to also include this. So in the event, so that's just the build, Legacy of Phrecia, and that's just our league starter. Anyways, endgame specialization system. So and it has a new system, replacing the endgame, existing Atlas passive skill tree with idols. So you have this thing, like Sanctum. So it's a roguelite mapping system where it like gets better because you upgrade your this container of idols and buff your maps, and then like the tree, but apparently the idols are going to be more powerful than the tree. So, and then they have even the keystones as unique ones. 53% chance of Legion was something. Rituals reroll an additional time. Special map crafting options. Fully revealed blueprints, like it's notes from the tree. And then so yeah, there will be some really really rare, really expensive, really insane combinations, and getting like the best stuff that's the most desirable. There's also, they have shown like now vendor recipes, being able to recombinate, being able to do all this stuff with them. So there's some playing with it as well. They've just been going crazy about the idols. And so basically the main point is that when you get to your endgame mapping, you won't have the tree to, like, I can't be like, here's the tree you use. You know, it's kind of like the RNG idols you find, but then at a certain point, I bet that maybe your idols are poop and you try to buy a better one. And then you know exactly what you're looking for, which we'll just have to see all the mods, but they're going to be like very similar to the tree, but it's going to be also based on just the power level of them, and then like how everything feels and like what's missing. People are going to be able to then maybe target farm with these idols, so then the idols are highly valuable. And then we'll see if they only come from maps, right? We'll see if we can get them from other content. But I need to mention that, yeah, there's no Atlas passive tree, so I won't give you a tree, and you can't do the normal stuff. And then idols are now have a mod to make you have extra map sustain, so just getting more idols in here makes you have more map sustain. It shouldn't be anything special. But yeah, need to mention that, because yeah, the whole event is this big thing plus the ascendancies. Like, it's funny how they mentioned the 19 alternate ascendancies, and in this entire thing they never brought up, oh, it's this tiny little thing here, and then they link to it. Oh, okay. Yeah. uh yeah, this whole thing. Yeah, the whole thing for ascendancies and all of it, and then so that's my point. It's like some people might not even know. They come in and they go, wait, where's the tree? What are these idols? And then they realize, but it's better to know now before it's even out. Yeah, especially since they've shown so much about it. I wouldn't worry too much about like trying to figure out what the best one is right now. You probably would just pick stuff or try to get stuff that you like and are enjoying, and is good for your build and that you're doing well with, and just keep it simple, and I think you'll do well. Well, yes. Special shout out to my Patreon and YouTube members who financially support the channel. Thanks to Rico549, David, Hannes, Cynic, Joe No Mercy, Salad, Austin, Alex, Johan, and Hate. Thank you guys so much for the support, and have a great day. Bye!